ladies, as you know, you already know me. I'm no stranger. I'm the CEO of Women Empowered Global, Senela. So welcome, welcome, welcome on behalf of Women Empowered Global. You are on our monthly global speaker series here today. And today we are going to be talking to you, presenting to you a very super important topic. And that is on how to apply emotional intelligence to lead your business. That's something we don't really pay enough attention to, but I'm super excited that Murshidah, she's an expert in this. She goes around the world talking about this conversation. So I'm so excited that we got the right person for this topic, and she's going to inspire you. Get your pen, get your notepad ready. And once oh, brilliant. Yes, I see it. So get ready to get your notes down. And once she's done, guess what? We're going to open all the mics and it's open floor, and you're going to ask her any question you have. And we're going to spend time really unraveling any questions you might have. And she's going to give you the answers. So with that said, I am going to open the stage for Murshidah. Murshidah, drum roll to you, lovely lady from Malaysia. Go right into it without further ado. I'm super excited. Let me just connect Murshidah on Spotlight video for you. Murshidah, I'm doing the honors. Over to you. Murshidah Said, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Thank you so much, Senela. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so privileged and feel very honored to be here this evening for me, this morning or afternoon for you, okay, wherever you are. All right. Now, why this topic is so important to me right now is because a lot of people are still operating their business from the mind point of view, from the IQ point of view, which is really important. You need all your logic, you need all your structures, your systems when you run your business, when you operate your operations and doing your marketing and all that. But the other thing that is really important right now, especially in today's world, is the hard part, the emotion part, which is the relating with people part. And this is something that a lot of people are not really practicing because they know their products are good. They know it's good for people, but the way they relate it and explain it is very hate-centered instead of heart-centered. And today's audiences are very different in terms of they like engagement. They like you to relate to them. And we have audiences and we have customers, we have clients from all over the world. Now we live in a global platform where, for example, like right now, I'm here in Malaysia, I'm talking to people from Florida, from Nigeria, from India, from Africa, from everywhere around the world, Europe, So this is the time where we need to get to the human part of people, right? And that is where the world is heading right now. Why a lot of people are still stuck in that hate-centered or the logic-centered way of doing business is because if you notice about the history of our business world, how economy has transformed, how work and business is done before, we came from the industrial age, and then manufacturing age, and then from that you come into the knowledge age and the information age, and right now we're actually into the spiritual age. Yeah. So some people are still stuck in the Pastor Deborah, that's right. And you know what? The spirituality is always there, but maybe for some people, they have not received it at that point in time. So they're still hard operated, they're still industry, money, machinery driven, which is the factory age, some back in 1920s, 1930s. So how businesses was done, it still was like that. It had to be like that because people were operating factories, machines, and if they make a mistake, if they're 2 minutes late in doing something, their hands can be cut off. They can get killed. It's dangerous. So how managers talk to their people are like, you do this, you do that, this, and when they sell stuff, when they sell things, it's so straightforward. Okay, this does this is bread, this is butter, stuff like that. So it's very straightforward. But now when we have moved to the knowledge age, the information age, and now going to the spirituality age, the heart has to come in that. How do you relate with people? The way audiences and clients relate is more about how you make them feel instead of why is this good for my stomach, or things. It's not as straightforward as before, because what is good for your stomach now has so many choices. People have choices. There's a lot of competition in business and all that. So it's so important for you as the business owner to understand how people feel, what makes them tick, why is it important for them, how does it relate to them. And when you talk to your employees, even, it's no longer you do this, you do that, because people are going to run away and nobody wants to work for you. It is more about engaging them, getting them feel involved, getting them feel like they're part of the organization. They feel like they're adding value. So how we manage, how we lead is also heart-centered. And that's where emotional intelligence comes in, right? So this is a women's platform. A lot of women are here, right? Women, we're actually very strong in this. This is the feminine part of leadership, where intuition, the emotion, the sensitivities, the you can feel things. This is feminine. The masculine are your systems and structures, your logic, your thinking skills. And just as important as you running your business, you need to manage both masculine and feminine part of you. So for women, most of them automatically, they resonate more on the intuitive skills, the creative skills, the feeling skills, right? So emotional intelligence is this. So when I do my training, when I work with corporate people, it is not about, when I talk about feminine leadership, it's not about gender at all. Men can also lead in the feminine leadership style, which is the relating to people, the intuitive, being able to feel things, being able to relate to different types of people, understanding their personalities, understanding the way they view things. That all is involved in feminine leadership. The giving, the hugging, the relationship part, that is feminine. Okay, so this is how emotional intelligence has affected today's leadership styles. People are starting to incorporate this. The people are starting to understand personalities, and in some organizations, they need to do anybody who wants to work in their organization has to fill up a personality profile, so they understand how or where this person is best placed in, what best serves them in terms of their personality. And it also is the way of uh, for the managers to also lead better, understand where this employee strengths are, so that's where you mold the strength. And that you're not gonna, you can actually train a person and train the person to be stronger in their weaknesses. But the best form of leadership is to work on people's strengths, and that's where emotional intelligence comes in, because you are aware about how different people operate in terms of their strengths and weaknesses, right? So this is where the world is growing. This is the growth of feminine leadership. And I'm just going to share with you also what comes out, or what is the framework of emotional intelligence generally. All right, mainly four things. Number one is self-awareness. Self-awareness means you are aware of your own emotions, right? When you are angry, when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're hurt. All this is being, there's a term called mindfulness now. Mindfulness, yeah. It is a state of you being aware of certain mental state that's going on, and also emotional state. So you are able to understand all the emotions that's happening within you. This is being aware of yourself, number one. Number two is self-management. Emotionally intelligent people, they are aware of their emotions and they know how to manage their emotions. They may be angry at a certain situation, but they don't act upon it if it does not serve the bigger purpose. They they get upset. Sometimes they vent alone or something. They know how to deal with the anger. They know what they need to do, whether it's meditation, whether it's going for a run, whether it's going to write or draw, or a way to release their anger, but they know how to manage it. And these are what emotionally intelligent people do. First is being self-aware, and then self-manage. And the other thing, the third thing, that emotionally intelligent people, or the emotional intelligence framework covers, is the social awareness. Social awareness, as in, besides myself, I'm also aware of different characters of people, different personalities of people, different perspectives of people. And they understand that sometimes another person's opinion may not be similar to theirs because of where the person comes from, how the person is brought up, how the person is educated, how the person's worldview is instilled, a lot of things. So an emotionally intelligent person is someone who's socially aware of different characters out there. And number 4, emotional intelligence also means you manage relationships well. So these are called people skills. This is what people say, you understand how to, you have very good people skills. So this is where being able to understand socially, being aware of people socially, and knowing how to relate to them. All right. They're not emotionally intelligent people are not people who like when they see somebody different and all that, they'll be like, oh, run away, I don't know how to deal with them because they're too hard, they're difficult customers or something like that. They know how to relate, they know what questions to ask, and they know how to influence the person to find a bridge between them and the other person. So this is generally what emotional intelligence framework is about. All right. And why is this a topic so important? What it does, it does so much benefits to the person. Okay, let's start with the person first. When a person is emotionally intelligent, you know how to manage yourself, you know how to deal with it. You don't go into a spiral mode of negativity and confusion. You know how to deal with it, and you set a certain time frame or limited time on feeling a certain negative emotions. They are very conscious of this, right? That's one of the benefits. When you are aware, you can manage yourself better, you can manage your personal life better, your relationships within your family, your relationships with your community, your relationships with your country and the people outside. And that's how I'm a messenger of the message of love and respect. So the values of love and respect. Yay, thumbs up, Pastor Deborah. Yeah, the message of love and respect is so universal. And when in order to have love and respect, you need to have emotional intelligence, right? So that is how you can spread love and respect. When there's no emotional intelligence, when a person has a totally different perspective or beliefs from you, then you get angry. I mean, that doesn't work. So especially in your business, dealing with your customers, your products are good, your service is good. It is how to relate those to the benefits to the different types of customers that you have, so that they can feel that you are actually serving them, even though they may come from different countries, they may come from different perspectives, different beliefs and all that, right? So it's all about that. All right, now let's talk also about why is it that sometimes you may have this question as well later, but this is something I want to address, because a lot of people ask me this question. How come there are some people that no matter how nice you are to them, they're just nasty, no matter what? They're just so difficult. How can I be emotionally intelligent with these people? All right. So first of all, you need to understand where certain characteristics, certain beliefs, certain programming comes from. And it's mainly from childhood. If you look at any children, any child born anywhere in the world, yay, that's okay. I'm giving you a flying kiss. All right. Now, if you want to know where all these beliefs come from, all children are pure and they're full of love, right? Something happened in them or to them from the age of 0 to 6 years old. And this is where mental conditioning, mental programming comes in. And when all those beliefs, all those education comes in, and after the age of 6, that's where they start to be able to, act on certain beliefs. And then after that, when they hit their teenagers, they will have their own beliefs and own way of wanting to be. So somebody is yeah, so this is how the programming comes. All right, so 0 to 6 years old. The other thing about programming is also education, personal experience. And sometimes people are because of something that happened to them in their life, not just 0 to 6 years old, but throughout their life, they gather a lot of either good in their lives, or they gather a lot of hate in their lives. And that comes as part of their experience, and then comes as part of their beliefs, right? Their personal beliefs. So with that, that's why sometimes people are very hard. Their heart is hardened, and they get angry very fast. They don't love easily. All this comes into play. Upbringing, the environment, and especially non-forgiveness of the past. When you don't forgive, you keep all this anger, regret, hatred, non-forgiveness issues. That's where your heart is hardened, and it's very difficult to be emotionally intelligent when you have a hardened heart. You cannot forgive the past. There's a lot of regrets, there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of cynicism and all that, right? So this is how these beliefs come about. So when you are in that space of mindfulness and you have taken care of yourself, you are self-aware, and there are people who are just so difficult, know that when they were 5 years old, they were not like this. Something happened to them along their way in their life. So when you talk to people as if they were 5 years old, talk to their soul as if that they still have that 5-year-old self inside of them, it's easier to give love, and it's easier to self-manage and deal with them a lot better. Yeah. So this is how these beliefs come about. All right. So what now I'm going to be sharing with you is the 4 key steps of how I relate emotional intelligence to the whole human being. Now, in my classes, I work on these 4 main areas when it comes to transformation, whether it is to manage your emotional intelligence, relationship with people better, whether it is your physical needs, whether it's your body language or whatever. We have to cover these 4 areas. Every human being has this first thing, which is your body, right? If you don't have a body, you are not human, you're a ghost, right? So every human being has a body. Now, what is the purpose of your body? Your body is just a tool for you to do things, right? What you do with your mouth, the things that you say, what you hear, things that you do. It is just a tool, right? But this tool is actually managed directly by another part of you, which is your mind, your mental, your mind. So when your mind is positive, it comes out through your smile, how you see things. Well, even though the most negative things may be around you, but a person who is positive see opportunities. Oh, I can see we can do this. This is the way we can solve a problem. They're very positive, and they will see opportunities instead of obstacles. Negative people, when your mind is negative, no matter how good things are, they will always see problems and doom and all those things, right? Have you met people like that before? No matter how good it is, they'll always complain. Yeah, so there's something in here, which is the negativity. Now, a lot of times people tell me, Murshidah, I know being positive is so important. I must be positive. But you know what? It's so difficult to be positive. Look at my family, look at my office, look at my environment. It's so negative. How to be positive? And that's where we work on the third part. Just now I talk about the body, and then I talk about the mind. The other part that has the link, how do you keep your mind positive, is actually your heart. And this is where emotional intelligence comes from. The heart, your feelings, your relationship with people, how you manage yourself emotionally. It comes from the heart. Yeah. And you know what? This is where love is, the heart. When the heart has no love, right? The heart has no love, your mind will automatically be negative. You look at people who just love people unconditionally, they like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, no matter who. The way they treat people, that person comes to their office, hello, how can I help you? Another person comes to their shop, hello, how are you? They just love people generally. So customer service, all that problem is solved when you have love in your heart, right? And but a person who does not have love or unconditional love, they will see, oh, this person would be good, this person not so good. So how they treat customers also is affected. Some people, wow, they give extra service. Another person, they'll be like, yes, what do you want? They're very rude. So again, it comes from the heart. Now, some people tell me, but Murshidah, I have a very good heart, I love people, I'm so friendly. I give charity all the time. But you know what? People always bully me. How? So I will always ask themselves, I will always ask them this question. Why do you allow people to bully you? Do you love yourself? Now, if you love yourself, you will take care of yourself. You will not allow people to take advantage of you, take you for granted, bully you, and all that. You will stand up for yourself because that is your right if you love yourself. So, when we talk about heart, this is where emotional intelligence comes in. Take care of the heart. When there's love in your heart, it does not only mean giving love to others, it also means receiving love, giving love to yourself, self-love, self-care. You got to take care of yourself. Don't do things for everyone all the time, and then after that you get all those donor's remorse. Some people, they do a lot of charity and then they get donor's remorse. They get very upset. Oh, what about me? So you go take care of yourself. If you feel tired, go take a nap. Go do something, eat chocolate. I love coffee, so I'll take coffee anytime. And all these things. And in Malaysia we have durians. I love durians. Things like that. Make yourself happy, be a love amongst your loved ones. It's very important to have self-care. All right, so love yourself, and that's where body, mind, heart is taken care of, right? Now, the next one, why is the heart so important? Because the heart is the gateway to your spirit, your spiritual self. And what is this spirit? This is you. This is the essence of who you are. This is the energy that is in your body even before you were born. It is so full of love, so full of positive vibration. When you are born in this world, you are meant to do amazing things. You are meant to lead a purposeful life. But when the heart is blocked, that spirit goes like that, like they want to do something, but it's like, oh no, I don't trust people, I hate people. It goes back into that shell. So most of the time you see zombies walking around, body and mind only. They're not yeah, they're not operating from the heart, right? Because the spirit, the essence of who you are, is in there. As long as we let go of all that rubbish covering the heart, that's where you get to live your legacy. That's where you have a direct connection, a strong connection with your creator. You are not upset when people say things about you and you get so depressed, because you are worthy, you are loved, God loves you. All these things come into play because the spirit is pure, the spirit is strong, and that's where it is, right? So how do we do this? 4 things. Body, it comes with your physical appearance, how your body language, when you deal with people, when you are emotionally intelligent, it shows through your smile, the way you talk, how you relate with people, your body language, all this come into place, right? It's your physical appearance. And when you have emotional intelligence, your mind is also very positive. You also have knowledge, you have experience, you're very intelligent, and you use it to do good things, right? You use all your knowledge and your experience to do good. And your heart, when you are emotionally intelligent, naturally, relationships are good. Whether relationship with your staff, whether relationship with your boss, whether it's relationship with your coworkers, whether it's relationship with your customers, whether it's relationship to your community, how to deal better with people, right? Because that's where emotional intelligent people come from. And your spirit, when all these things are aligned and clear, your spirit, that inner voice inside you, becomes very clear. That's where intuition comes in. Your inner voice, you can feel certain things, you can sense people. Your emotional intelligence is also heightened when you are at that level of spirituality, where you can sense when a person is sad, you can sense the energy of the person, and that's where you can relate better to the person. You can ask questions, you know how to bring a person from negative to positive, a person from sadness to joy. That only happens when you are emotionally intelligent. So that's how, emotional intelligence is so important, not just in your workplace, in running your business, in starting your business, because, startups, I understand you. I've been a startup, and I'm also still starting up new businesses. It can be like, it's exciting, but it's all scary, and it's like, oh no, I've got no money. All of these things come into play as well. So when you can manage yourself emotionally, all these things can be done in a very positive way. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about a little bit more about, how many more minutes do I have? Do I have another 5 minutes or so?
Yes, absolutely. You've got 5, yes.
Okay, all right. So when I talk about being emotionally intelligent as well, how I do my training in corporates, that's where I link the body, mind, heart, and spirit. The human soul is actually needs to be aligned spiritually, because when you are connected to a higher power, you know, for some people they call it God, or whatever, the higher power other than yourself, you know, the bigger energy, a bigger power other than yourself. That's where no matter what you do, you are very clear. When you talk to people, you are also clear, and your intuition is a lot heightened. When you are emotional intelligent and you are spiritual at the same time, you are joyful. You know, you're naturally, you have that joy inside of you, and people can feel your energy. You forgive easily, and you are not affected by negative people, because sometimes if you're not in tune, spiritually in tune, when a negative person comes along and say negative things, a person who is not in tune is spiritually or having emotional intelligence will get affected easily. They will go, oh, they go into that negative energy as well. So when you are spiritually guided and in tune, um, you know, negative things do not affect you as easily. You know, you get, of course you feel sad, but you know how to come out of it. You know how to deal with it better, right? A spiritually out of shape person also do not take care of themselves. You know, there are some people who feel guilty taking care of themselves when they buy and they work very hard and they buy a pair of shoes. After that, they feel bad. You know, but actually they like it, they want it, but they feel guilty. You know, so that also means that your soul is not in tune. Yeah, and other things, other indicators also. Any little problem puts that person into a negative spiral. You know, any problems, they go into sadness, or they get angry very fast and they stay in that anger. They don't come out of it easily. So that's why it's so important for us all to work on our spiritual self. And how do you do that? You can meditate, you pray in the morning, write, do your journaling. It is so powerful. I love journaling. And do good. And that's why I also advocate creating a social impact. If you have a business, I know it's profits are so important. Go make huge profits. You know, that's how I work with my clients as well. Huge profit, but at the same time, that huge profit is also benefiting another group of people, so that they too can create huge profits for themselves. You know, they too can come out of poverty. They too can have an equal, the like equality at work and all that, or environment is taken care of. A social impact is so important when you have a strong business, right? So that is where spirituality comes in. It is part of giving. It is part of being grateful, and that makes a person spiritual, right? So with that, body, mind, heart, and spirit. Body, when you things that you also eat, put in your mouth, also affects you emotionally. So be aware of the things that you put in your mouth that makes you happy. And I say take more of that. Just make sure they are healthy. You know, don't I know sugar is makes you happy, but keep it in control. Yeah, things like that, right? And knowledge. What you read is really important, because what you feed your mind, the mind is really important. It also affects you emotionally. Read things that add value to you and the world. Do not read things that is just doom and gloom and what's next, nothing. You read things that there's some problems, but there's learning about it. There's something that you can do about it, so that the problem does not come out, right? And then the heart is, that's where you need to be educated about personalities, understanding people. Go travel, understand different cultures, relate to them, and go find what fits your soul. Number 4, your spirituality. All right, so with that, I say thank you. And that is just the gist of what my perspective of emotional intelligence is. And I'd love to hear any of your perspectives. We can do some sharing here as well, and any other questions I can add on, because I have a couple of things more to share.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Murshida. I've got a question to kick it off. So this is the Q&A, so everybody can absolutely participate and really benefit from this segment. Now, moving into the Q&A, you covered the fundamentals. You gave us a fantastic background to really understand very effectively. You did it so well. In a nutshell, what is emotional intelligence all about and why it should matter to us today in business, in relationships, and personal life. So, with that, my first question dives deep a little bit. I'm already there. I'm already on fifth gear with this one. My question is this. You took us through the 4 frameworks. You said self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, social regulation. My question is, how can we convert a negative customer experience or a relationship to a positive experience using emotional intelligence?
Very good question. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Now, when a person is unhappy about something, it's either one of these main things. Either, okay, you got to make sure, well, first of all, your product is good. Whatever you promise, you better deliver. Okay, this is business integrity. Whatever you say is going to do, you know, and you say it's guaranteed, you got to fulfill all of that. Okay, people do not like to be lied to. So if that is market, if certain things are marketed in your ads, in your business, in your products, fulfill that. All right, anything else you're not sure, don't advertise that. All right, now basically a person who is negative, right, a person who is unhappy, or a customer that is unhappy, they don't feel the basic human emotional needs from an experience. So that's where you got to know what are these fundamental human emotional needs. All right, people, number one, they need to feel appreciated. There may be something that happened along the way where somebody didn't say thank you, sir, thank you for coming, we really appreciate your business. They don't, that was not transferred to the customer, and that could be something that can cause that unhappiness. All right, the other one is the person may not feel understood. There may be something that there was a misunderstanding, and there was assumptions, and the person is unhappy. All right, so they have a negative experience because they felt they were misunderstood. The other one is they were not feeling recognized. Maybe the customer was not feeling recognized in some way. Nobody calls him sir, welcome to the shop, or something like that. And that's where they start complaining. I'm like, oh, very rude customer service, blah, 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 all this. People do not like to be criticized also. So that negative experience could come from a criticism that they felt against them. And this can happen, from my experience in training customer service, this can happen sometimes by just a simple comment, like the customer service officer say, oh, this thing happened because you didn't do this, you should have done this. And the customer felt, oh, that is actually a criticism of my intelligence. So they felt that. So that could be that. And the other one is basically they didn't feel loved and respected. So whatever the negative experience that they get is due to one of these things. All right. So it's possibly they felt they were lied to, they were misunderstood, they were criticized, they're not appreciated, they felt disrespected, or they felt unloved. So when you get a customer who is unhappy, what I normally recommend is to ask them exactly what happened, and then the first thing, we acknowledge them, make sure they felt loved and respected, make sure that you fix that, whatever it is. Let's say the product is broken, go say sorry, this is something for you from us, make them feel recognized, and that's how you can actually draw them back, right? And negative experiences can also be like, sometimes people walk into a shop and they just start getting angry. Do not spread that negative energy around in the shop. Take the person out. How you can take the person outside or let them sit down. A person will change their state of mind immediately when they change their positioning, body positioning. If they happen to be standing up while they're angry, you say, come this way, they take a walk, they actually pull off, or you ask them, can you please sit down, let's discuss this. A person sitting down, when from their standing up, they're sitting down, they change their body position, they actually change their emotional state. Another way that you can also immediately change them is, we call this the gustatory, right? Which is food and drink. You put something inside the stomach. So water is very helpful. For example, if a person is like, okay, let's discuss this in the room. Can I get you some coffee, water, or something like that? So when the person drinks, again, the emotions change. And that's where sometimes you have a normal conversation and understand exactly where that anger came from, where that dissatisfaction comes from. So it's either one of all these emotions that they didn't feel from the first time, and that's why they got upset. All right. So with that, you've got to fix it directly. Find out, oh, the cashier didn't say thank you. All right. So we say, all right, we got to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. My gratitude, whatever, you deal with it at that point. And make sure your staff is trained. That's why when you run a business, make sure all the people, they carry the brand of the company with the same gestures, with the same greetings, the same kind of customer service. Because when a customer is unhappy, when a person is hurt, that's where they get, they will try to, hurt others as well. So that's where, sometimes people use the handphones to spread negative things, is because of this negative experience.
Thank you. And with that, we are going to beautiful.